Hey, we're broadcasting. I'm just going to copy this thing and then put it out on the thing. Also, watched Guardians of the Galaxy yesterday. It's still great.
It's a good movie.
It's a damn fun. In fact, I found it funnier this time than when I saw it in the theater.
Really?
Are you okay? Don't die.
Sneezing.
Don't sneeze either. Don't blink. Don't do any of that. All right, cool. Well, there's that. So, a lot of stuff to talk about. I'll try and run through as much of it as possible. I don't have it open in front of me, but we've got about 12,500 in the bank. There's some money coming in from Amazon, and I think a little bit coming. I got to do a PayPal dump at some point. We've been doing kind of steady business with the blanks. That was good, and they continue to be good. And we've got them on hand, so I think they're going to be great to bring around with us. The Amazon thing, because we haven't been on Amazon for we've only been on Amazon for a few months, so we don't have enough of a seller history on Amazon to sell through their holiday season. So Amazon sales are done until after the holiday, which sucks, but it's fine because the cut is better when we do the retail stuff anyway. We have a my brother and me ad, which should drop this week or next week. Possibly the week after, but I don't think so. And tomorrow, the ad will go back up on Ojoy's sex toy because it's been their readership has gone way up because she had a number of good books, and I figured long enough had gone past that it was worth doing another try. Yeah.
What did we see from that? Do we know?
What did we see from the first one?
Yeah.
I think we netted like $800 from it.
Okay.
Like it cost us like $250, and then it lasted a while. I mean, we're gonna see the same number of people. It might cost us a little bit more because their CPM has gone up, but I still think it was worth it. The only reason that I stopped it when we stopped it was the returns are diminishing. And it's my understanding that web-based advertising do it in waves as opposed to steadily. I don't know. It's worth experimenting. But we'll see. I think that's the only real advertising-y stuff. Oh, that's my dog. So, yeah, Slash is going good. Pack the fact that you guys get the email I sent you with the domino proofs.
I did.
So those look good. I guess they did one of them wrong, so they're redoing them. So that, like, even the stuff that they sent us, we can't approve that because that's not the correct set. So the correct set is supposed to be to us this week, so I'll forward that on, and we can all take a look at it. Then I'm going to take one of those pictures out, pop it in the back of the box, and then off we go.
What about the painting, though?
What about the what?
It's the backs weren't painted?
Yeah, we weren't going to paint the backs.
Yeah, we were. And everything else,
I didn't.
what you sent to Sherry had the backs were going to be painted. Everything we
No, there's
white.
Well, what's getting paint? Like, what is there a design going on the back?
No, it was just going to be painted white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll touch base with her about that.
What you sent Sherry said that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll touch base with her on that. I know it's like the same price, so that's whatever. I'll just talk to her about it. Speaking of talking to Sherry, I actually was just emailing her over this past weekend because when the PAX tickets went live, we are now in possession of 4 PAX tickets. Oh, there's a lot to unpack here. Okay, so we have 4 PAX tickets. Whether we use them or not is going to be dependent on a number of factors. I have not been able to secure a place to stay, like rent an apartment, because I went through like 3 or 4 different. I submitted for like 3 or 4 different ones from Home Away, which is the place we got PAX House at last time, and just like 2 of them flaked and 2 of them declined, probably because it was like a guy, which I get the sense is not very super welcome. I don't know. But I don't. There's not necessarily going to be a lot of people traveling in, and we're all capable of figuring something out. But that's regardless. So we were waitlisted for a booth at PAX, so that sucks. But what I did was I talked to the Indie Bazaar people, and I talked to Sherry, and Joshua's waiting to hear. Joshua from the Indie Bazaar is waiting to hear back about exactly what's going on because they were sharing space with Luke Crane, and so they don't know if they're on their own this year or if they're doing a half and half or what they're doing. Sherry has space, and she's and I was like, listen, we got waitlisted. Can I purchase some space from you for PAX? And she's like, I'm not going to sell anything, but like, let me check out what our space is, and more than happy to have you guys with us if we have the space. So that's cool. So I think in our worst case scenario,
those emails. The emails from her were great.
Yeah. So and we went back and forth about some of that other stuff. So I think in a worst case scenario, we'll be in a corner of that, and that's fine. Because I mean, we're printing. Yeah, it worked great last year. We're printing the pack through again this year. It's fine. Yep. Ideally, and I had sent this email out to Luke because I was told to contact him by both Sherry and Joshua. I'm a little skittish about talking to him just because I don't know. I feel like I don't know him at all, and so that's weird. About actually taking Ad Magic and the massive indie crew and jamming it all together into an Analog Games mega booth, like
cool.
Try and get a whole block on the PAX East floor for just indie Analog Games. Sherry seemed keen on that. Josh really dug it. I had tossed it past Epi and Emily at JiffyCon, and they seemed like they thought it was a good idea. So I think there's legs on that. When I hear more from people, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think it's a matter of when people find out what's going on with space, because that's all up in the air because of PAX South is happening in January. So the guy who does the booking for PAX East also does it for PAX South. So he's basically done nothing for PAX East because he's got a convention that's happening 3 months earlier. Speaking of PAX South, we had applied for that possible free table at PAX South, which would be crazy. They were supposed to let everyone know last week, but they said they didn't hit that deadline, so it should be coming up soon. Maybe we're going. I don't know. But that's crazy because Texas is going to be nuts because they just announced the second BGG con. So, like, that means there's going to be 2 BGG cons in Texas and then PAX South, which, from what I understand, their focus, they're like, it's not like the PAXs have focuses or themes, but it seems like they're pushing tabletop games hard there. And maybe it's because BGG is there and they think it's a real good territory for that. But I hate Texas, so fuck those people. Anyway, so that's PAX. Other convention stuff. PortCon Maine just was emailing Julie from PortCon Maine about going back there this upcoming year. So applied to be a guest there. They like us. They like the stuff we did last year. I don't see why they won't bring us back. And maybe we can do, maybe they could even like subsidize room or something like that. So that'd be really great. Oh, Total Con. So we are going to be at Total Con, which I don't remember the dates of it, but it's the same dates as Dreamation, which we're not going to be at. We're going to be at Total Con, and I'm going to be doing the prototype panel, and also along with Tracy Hurley, we're going to be doing we're actually going to be on a harassment panel.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we're all obviously invited, and I think that we all have stuff to say about various of these things, and we're also going to have a table to sell stuff at because by that time we'll have Pack the Pack, and that. Also, what we're going to be doing, selling there, is we're going to be doing kind of a capitalism exchange with the indie massive people, the Boston Massive, whatever the fuck they call themselves, the Western Massive, the Indie Bazaar people, that we're going to take some of their stuff, like Questlandia and Mobile Frame Zero and, like Dread and whatever. We're going to sell that at our table at Total Con, and they're going to be at Dreamation, and they're going to take our stuff there. And so it'll be, just kind of an exchange. And that's really cool. I think that's, I want to do that more. I think that's a really good way of getting our product around to places. Yeah. And other products, there's 3...
February 19th to 22nd, just Total Con.
Yes. Yeah. We're only going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not Thursday.
Okay.
I figured that would be easier for all of us.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, we can. It's totally within driving distance, so it's not like we have to stay anywhere or whatever. But yeah. So I figured that was the best thing to do. So other products though. So we're gonna have all these conventions that are coming up, like February, March, April are going to be really busy for us. And I wanted to have more at the table. And I feel like we had this exact conversation last year. So we're going to have Slash stuff, which I meant to do it this week, but I'm definitely doing it coming up. I'm taking it off of retail discount because what happens is, like, we don't make a ton of money on the retail stuff. And it's great, and I love being able to do it, but, like, I want to get more dollars out of the copies that we have left. So I'm going to take them off that, and that's fine. I think everybody who really wanted to stock it in their stores has got it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess, occasionally people come out of the woodworks and they're like, I want 5, and I'm like, deal. So I'm going to take that off. We've got I would probably like 25 or 30 of the shipwreck decks left. Those people are just picking up randomly, which is also interesting. And then we have 950 of the blank boosters, which are great. And so we can, like, take all of that stuff, and I think that if we don't blow out of it completely of Slash at the end of this year and the beginning of next year, which I probably won't happen, we will through that con season. Because I was mentioning this to Dan, we're at a point where because of retail sales and, like, stuff that we've used the funding on, like, the second print run of Slash is going to be like 14,000 or 16,500, depending on whether we get 1,000 copies or 1,500 copies. So, like, the per unit rate kind of is not as good, especially on the 1,000 copies, to the point where getting it at 1,000 copies means that, like, it really isn't a good idea to sell at retail, or to sell at wholesale. I'm not against doing it, but the fact of the matter is that after we stock Pack the Pack and send that all out, when we sell out of everything that's left in Slash, we'll be, like, within $2,000 or $3,000 of that 1,000 unit mark, and I'd kind of rather use that on other stuff. Like, I think there's going to be a day where we do a second run of Slash, but we might want to figure out a different way of doing it. Does that sound like crazy talk?
No, I think when we get to it, we're going to explore all of our options.
Yes. Okay. And the reason why is because I'd like to see more stuff. I'd like us to have more stuff that's in the middle ground of these big print runs that we did pack and slash, and like the tiny stuff for Patreon. So I think that, and I've been talking to factories in China about doing just these things. So, Bad Habit, I completely redid the cards. I ordered a proof deck of cards from Drive Through Cards, who are the same people who did the booster packs and stuff. And their quality is really high. I reached back out to the guy who makes the felt pouches. I haven't heard from him yet, but I hope to hear from him this week. And I just sent an email back to a factory in China who's going to ship us 10,000 10 millimeter cubes, like the kinds you get in Lord of Waterdeep, for 2 cents a cube, which is 5 cents less than the best price I saw in America. So that's a great deal. Yeah. So, what? Okay,
that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So, and also red ones, and with that, after the way that I figure it is that those cubes, and then a similar run of cards to what we did for Shipwreck, and we'll probably end up spending about we'll probably end up spending between $700 and $800 to get between 100 and 110 copies of Bad Habit at a much higher production value than the ones that we demoed with, like sell it in stores level. That we can sell. I was figuring like $15 each. I thought would be a good price because it's a heavy pack, and it's like at the love letter level, right? In fact, it would actually have more than love letter, and love letter is like $15. So whatever, like $15 is what I'm thinking. So there's that, and then I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to, but I hit upon this idea for a memory-based card game called Safe Words, which is a BDSM cooperative card game. And then I made it today, and I also ordered a proof of that. And so it's like it's kind of a combination of have you ever played the Game Right game Hiss?
No.
Okay, you're making a chain of snakes, right? So it's a combination of Taboo. It's cooperative 2-player Taboo, where you're creating this chain of cards, and the cards have. Here, I can show you some. Hold on. The cards. This is all placeholder imagery, and actually, I want to talk about spending money on it because I think it's worthwhile. Where are they? Okay. Sorry, one sec. Just display, son of a bitch. Here's display. Okay. Okay, so these are all safe for work. So these are what the cards basically look like. They all have various types of exceptionally suggestive but not explicit imagery on them. And they have these outlines on them and words. And so what you do in this game is that you and your partner, you're going to agree upon a bid. Did you ever play Spades?
Yeah.
Okay, so like in Spades, you go, okay, we're going to do 5. We're going to do 5. We're going to do a 5 chain or 5 cards. And then you draw the cards. then one player is the sub, the other player is the dom. The sub will look at the list of cards and choose one of them to be an unspoken word, a safe word. Yeah, totally the game too. So, like they might say, okay, we're not going to use the word grind, and then they'll read the other three words that are on the card. Then the dom will read those three words. And the sub will put the card down and draw a new card. So, and then you draw a new card. You keep continuing this way, but when you put a card, the next card you put down, you have to cover one of the words from the previous card, and you can't cover the safe word, right? So you're constantly building this chain where, so I was researching stuff on memory span, which is like the human ability to like string together, like how many digits can you recite from memory, and the average is yeah, the average is 7 plus or minus 2. And so I wanted to make something where we would do it a little bit longer. So you basically have this chain, and on each chain is 3 words, and the sub is going to tell you what the next 3 words are, but the dom needs to repeat the entire chain from the beginning to the end, right? So every time you add a card, you have to read everything beforehand, and you can cheat by looking at the chain, but you might forget which one of the shown words is a safe word. And if you say that word, you've ruined it and it's over, right? So it's like you're trying to see how far you can stretch this chain out before you say one of the safe words. Also, there's 32 words, but they actually repeat on different cards. So you can have a situation where none of the words on the card, or like only half of the words on the card, can be said because of prior safe words that have been set up. And also, whatever your highest bid that you successfully completed in this game was, you are never allowed for the rest of your life to bid less than that. So so you're constantly escalating how far you can push it because it's a BDSM game. But you always take if I had successfully completed 5 and the person I was playing with had successfully completed 7, we would be allowed to bid no less than 5. Right. So, yeah. Anyway, so when is Arisha? January?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this should be at my house in like 2 weeks. I want to redo all the art because this is all stuff that I found Googling, which is it's not fun, but also terrifying. We could totally get something back by January. I would like to hire someone to do illustrations for it, or to purchase photography for it. I don't know. I'd like to spend a little bit of money on it. And I figure we can sell this for about $10 a pop. It'll cost us about $1.50 to make each one, because it's only like a 32 card deck. We could do some other stuff with it, like figure out some packaging or other stuff. And I'll just turn off this part right now. So yeah. Oh, and I've got hold on. I'll show you the.
Oh, these aren't bad.
What?
These aren't bad. The pictures.
No, they're good. They're the opposite of bad. They're very good. Oh wait, no, there it is.
Is there any way that it could be more than 2 players?
Yeah, if you have more than 2 players, I haven't figured out a way to. I mean, I think you could do it with multiple subs or multiple DOMs. I haven't figured that out yet because there's you don't want certain information being in the other person's hands. And this is basically the cover of it. But I figured out a way to do it competitively with teams.
Okay,
where you have multiple.
Again, going back to space, it's like you're working with your partner, but you don't really know what your partner has.
Oh yeah, like you do it like bridge style, where it's 2 people playing. Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean that's the same with space. You're like, let's do 3. No, 4, but you can't actually compare hands.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, so it doesn't really have that. It just relies on what you've done before. But I can totally see it being, instead of a chain, being like two chains crossing each other kind of thing, where you build off of each other's chain. Let me get the proof back, and then I'll play with it, and then yeah. Oh shit, yeah. Fuck, we should talk to Brenda. Um, yeah, that's such a great idea. Um, So yeah, I totally think we should have this ready by Arisia.
Yep.
Either do it illustrated or do it with photos. Um, I think it's. I'm really surprised that it's this light. It's like a light, fun little game that you manipulate on the table, and you're also saying stuff to each other. And it's I think a lot of what is interesting about the game is that it does attempt to recreate certain power dynamics in the way the game works, and it does rely on those power dynamics for it to be successful. But there's also a level of intimacy that you're creating with the other person that you're playing with because of the things that you're saying out loud, and that can that
Right.
you need to be able to like say that face to face. So anyway, that's neat.
Right. That's why I almost think that like doing with 4, it's almost easier to do it with 4 people than like one-on-one.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know, but I think that's definitely a possibility. Other game stuff did. Oh, I did some more stuff with Camp Powerful. That's coming along. So I added skills to it.
Yep. Yeah.
So instead of just having, did I tell you about those?
We talked on the phone about like your idea for it, and I thought it was awesome.
What was my idea for the skills? Oh, you're helping each other? Kind of? No. What was? Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't it like part of the initial.
Oh, that was the character generation thing where you're nominating other players in the group to have. Yeah, I told you about the character generation thing where it's like the interview process with the parents.
Yeah. Yes. And then it was like all the points. Like if everybody was nominated. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that was an issue is like, what if one person gets nominated to have a whole bunch of to overflow? Like the stat limit is 3, right. So what if they get like 5 nominations? What do they do? Well, what they can do is they can take those extra points and they can start feeding them into skills. Skills are subset from each one, so there's physical skills, social skills, mental skills, and power skills. And basically, they're more specific applications. So let me get the list. It's actually it definitely owes some stuff to Burning Wheel, where you have like not wises, but I loved how you have a stat for circles.
Yeah.
In that, and I'm like, that's perfect for like a social sub skill would be friends and resources, right? Because that's how like it would be friends, and then like I think it's friends, persuasion, deception, and another one. Mental stuff is mysteries, logic, mysteries, logic, answers, and another one. There's 4 for each. But the idea is that they're not like mysteries is kind of your knowledge of obscure things. Logic is your ability to like solve problems. Oh, it was puzzles probably. Logic is your ability to like figure things out, and puzzles I guess is also the same. This is all laid out somewhere. And then for a physical one, it was stuff like survival and athleticism and fighting, and how like someone might be a really good swimmer but like suck in a fight, or they might be really good at living in the woods, or like being tough but might not be super athletic, or how that works. Right. And then for the power subsets, it was stuff like intensity and focus. So like your ability to kind of control your powers in specific ways. So like I need this like laser blast I could shoot out of my eyes to go like dead on targeting. So I have to use my focus skill to like add an extra die to hit like pinpoint accuracy or something like that. So there's like limited times when you can use these dice to add more to your rolls. Oh, and I also added a thing where if your dice goes off of the die board, whatever the roll is on it, you subtract one and it stands. Like, because otherwise people would just be rolling off until they get the number, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was worried about people just rolling off of the board too much.
Yeah, I had a rule for that, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see what it is. And I'm certainly not dead set on it. I may start doing some writing on that and just start writing that book. uh, and I think at some point, Dan, this is more germane to you. Did Jack Andrews reach out to you about pandemic? He's doing like a pandemic fundraiser for Ebola in Africa, where like people play pandemic to raise funds for Ebola in Africa, and I thought that was a great idea. So, Jack Andrews. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, but I'll talk to him. That's kind of a thing coming up. And the JiffyCon was good. I saw the video that Dan put together, which is great, and the playtest of Big Dumb War Game was surprisingly good. What? There's a thing that says extreme shrimp on my internet, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. So Big Dumb War Game, actually, people liked it more than I thought they would, and it functioned. It functioned, which I was really surprised at. There are like areas of it that I want to tinker with, and I certainly wouldn't like front burner it at all, but it's fun it'll be a fun thing to keep playing with. And then the Night Vale stuff. Me and Dan shot video last week for the Night Vale video pitch, and Dan, you said you were working on that this weekend. So as soon as he gets that to me, I will send it out to those people and be like, hey, we got this thing and we want to use the IP to make a game. That's everything.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys have anything else?
Nope. Ask about.
Yep, that's us. And oh yeah, I also want to import this game from the Ukraine using company funds.
What's that about?
It's a game called Mysterium, and it's Clue plus Dixit. I'm gonna figure that out. But like that's the only way to describe it. That is literally what the game is. So like, it's this multiplayer game where there's psychics who go to this house. The house is haunted. One player is a ghost. They can't communicate except by sending dreams to the psychics. So they use kind of a Dixit deck to tell the psychics about the murder that happened there. And then like, it's just really cool. It's really fucking different than all the stuff that's out. And it's from the Ukraine, so you can't PayPal anyone in the Ukraine apparently because of warlords or something. So you have to do like Western Union. I don't know. It's apparently hot shit, and it's getting some English distribution, but not until late next year. And I want to get my hands on it just to fuck with it. I don't know if that's a great use of the funds, but really want to get it. Maybe I'll just buy it myself. Never mind. So yeah. Oh, also, actually, speaking of other game stuff, um, I was thinking of Camp Powerful stuff. I kind of want to incorporate. Um, so we had like that whole like kind of nemesis thing happening, but I think it would be neat maybe instead of that because a lot of the feedback I heard about like the a nemesis style system is that it can kind of shut everyone else out of the game. Um, and it's really hard to do really, really well. It's one of the cool things about Wraith, but it was really also disruptive. So I was thinking maybe to include some kind of maybe a trader mechanic, and that got me thinking. What would be neat is to incorporate. Have you ever used Rory's story cubes?
Yeah.
Yeah, to incorporate those into the start of the game, right? I don't know exactly how, but I like the idea of having this kind of random element that characters are tasked with bringing to the table beyond just them like what their character's going to do. So like everyone would roll these dice, and the GM is going to have some of them that they're going to use to inform their choices throughout the game. And then each of the players is also going to use it to inspire a thing they do. Or you might use it as a way to improv up plots for quick games, where like you roll the dice and it kind of like it sketches out, an inspiration for your story. Or it might just be something functionally useful and not really have a good mechanical component. But that's one of the things I liked about like Fiasco and all those games is that they have these like charts that are like these charts of guidelines for you to roll on that you don't really have to abide by, but they do give people who don't have a clear kind of creative choice in their head. They do give them kind of a cheat sheet that allows them to have those choices made for them, which can be really good if you're not super courageous about creating or presenting an RPG character. And I really think that one of the things that maybe some mainstream games do really well, indie games don't do really well, um, is they're more noob friendly, right? Like, say what you will about like the D&D Fifth Edition, which is actually good, but like the starter kit for that is a starter kit, but
Yeah.
there's no starter kit for Monster Hearts.
Right.
Right, you're in the fucking deep end in that game.
Yeah.
It's a great game. It's really good,
Yeah.
but it is also brutal and daunting. And like even a game of Fiasco, which is it's just a lot of storytelling, and there's no real like. I mean, there's conflict, but it's all narrative. That's so hard for people to get
Yeah.
into. That they either click with it immediately or don't. And I want there to be more of an on ramp for indie RPGs. Um, it shouldn't just be like, oh, you played indie RPGs. Here's one. Here's a different one. That's a different Apocalypse World hack or a different Burning Wheel streamline or something. There needs to be more accessibility to them because they're really cool and they're a lot better than D&D. But whatever. Yeah. Yep. And hold on. Factory in China. Shipping freight is $100 within 79 days by FedEx. Perfect. That's good. That means like the whole order would be $330, and that would mean that each game I could get the components in for. I could definitely get the components in under 10. I would shoot for between 8 and 9, depending on how I do the rules for Bad Habit. So that's good. So it's definitely something that we could sell at the booth and not feel bad about, or sell directly through the website.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I've got the flu.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. My son had it, and maybe I've got it. I felt like real shit all day long. Um, but yep. So nobody else got anything else to say. I'm not the only person who speaks in these things anymore. I'm just a rambling idiot. I don't know if Dan's mic is working or if he's just judging us silently. Well, happy
His
Thanksgiving.
mic broke.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Have
Yeah,
fun in Mexico.
thank you.
That sounds crazy.
It better be fun.
And yeah, I'm just gonna keep making games and shit. At some point, we should all get together, and hang out,
Yeah, we
and play
should.
some games and shit.
Yeah, we should. That'll happen soon.
Okay.
Are
Show
you
my
still
love to the family.
are you
Who
still
what?
working weekends?
Yeah, I do. Like it depends. This week is actually really crazy because of the holiday. I actually end up working during the week as opposed to weekends because I don't know. But like I'm working on Wednesday, and then I signed up for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But I might get like two or three of those days. So it's weird, and but it's really neat because you work 2 days and it's like I worked an entire week at a different job. So it's good. It's brutal, but it's good. So yeah, still doing that. And yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go watch Batman Returns.
All right, have fun.
That's a great movie. Have a good night.